Good morning, Dr. Mays and class. I am excited about this discussion. I really liked this book because it's kind of the reason that I got into history and wanted to study a little more about like just the historical aspects of religion and how it relates to people's rights and their current beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And so it was really interesting to me because I had not seen a historical interpretation that like directly linked all of those things. And so I really loved that because it kind of combined my love for philosophy and different points of view and pulled it in and like he proved historically how it happened. And I thought he had a pretty good argument. It was interesting to me in the videos that they considered him to be controversial because personally it kind of follows again like my philosophy verse like on beliefs in general. And so for me it was kind of like a whoa, this is cool, like he's preaching. And so it didn't occur to me as I was reading the books that it was controversial. I did think that some of them I was like, wow, that was bold of him to make those connections. I realized obviously that it was a very bold. I don't think there's really another word to describe it. But it was interesting to see, kind of the audience's reactions in the videos from his lectures. One of the things that I thought was really interesting, well, I guess like specifically the Reformation and how he tied those things to how it ended up separating. We kind of see it as like the beginning of like was kind of the beginning of like church and the separation between church and state, and then how he showed in his books and like through the lectures that it actually wasn't, that we needed the secular governmental control of these moralistic practices to keep those religions moving. And so one of the things, I don't think I remember reading it in the books, that he brought up in one of the lectures was just about how the only religions, once they broke off, that were allowed to or were able to survive were the ones that were heavily controlled by a state government authority, secular authorities. And so that really stuck out to me. The fact that he calls people either religious believers or secular believers, I find entertaining. And I like those points that he made. Again, just on a personal level, not really on like an academic or theological level, I guess. So I just thought that was really interesting. For me, one of the things that I kind of left with the book at the end of it, he was talking about how it's kind of like a bleak interpretation of what happened, and I do see how he came to those conclusions because, some of the things that he said were pretty bold and a little bit alarming in some aspects. But one of the things that I felt like was kind of, I don't want to say missing, because I think it would kind of revolve around like a whole new topic in a different book, but I would love to see or read how he feels, or like I shouldn't say how he feels, because he backed it up, right, with facts. But I would love to know like what the alternative was, because obviously no matter, sooner or later, like the people were going to break away from Rome, right? That it seems like that would have been an inevitable thing. I can't really imagine a world where we're all still maybe we would be. I don't know. That we're all just still, working under this one centralized church that's also controlling what we're doing. And I don't know. It brings up all these, like he said in one of the lectures that it's like, headache inducing, and it's true. Like you start thinking about it too much, it's just really like, oh my God, it's too much. But so I would love to know like what he thinks the alternative would have been, and like how we could have progressed. There we go. How we could have progressed through, the Enlightenment, and like all these inventions and all these new things, like all these new sciences that emerged among those times, like specifically like the natural sciences and physics and things like that, how we could have evolved, I guess, as a society and not had the effects of breaking away from the church and questioning the moral doctrines, and not how that, like, it seems like that all still would have been inevitable, to me. I don't know. I'd love to know if anybody else feels differently, because I mean, like I said, it's mind-boggling to me. I don't know. Yeah, so, like, I don't know what the alternative would be. So I'd love to have, like, a follow-up book or a lecture, or, like, I mean, if anybody knows of anybody that has that kind of a follow-up, if you could direct me that way, that would be awesome, because I did find it really, really interesting. I just don't know, like, what the alternative would have been. So those are my takeaways. I hope you all are having a wonderful last few weeks of school.